This album is insane. What's going on, everyone? How are you doing? Thank you for tuning back into Relevant Jukebox. And man, today we're going to talk about a new album here from the Belgian ensemble band Neptunian Maximalism. Éons, not really sure if I'm saying that correctly. Now here's a record that took a little while for me to wrap my mind around fully. Still think I'm kind of unpacking it, honestly. Now on Apple Music, this album is billed as a metal release, and you know, after listening to it, I mean, I could certainly see a lot of aspects of this album fitting into the genre of metal. I mean, it's certainly doomy and heavy as hell. But I wouldn't actually categorize this album as a metal album. It's kind of hard to categorize, actually. It's like this primal Frankenmonster of free jazz, drone, and it's all laced in noise and just has no boundaries whatsoever. I mean, looking at the cover of this thing, it's a pretty great depiction of what you're in store for, which feels kind of like taking a very entertaining descent into the fiery pits of hell, and that dragon dude on the cover is your guide. And I mean, overall, there is not too many vocals laid over these tracks here, but when there are vocals, when they show up, I mean, like on the 8th track, The Summoning, I mean, whew, man, I mean, they're just really creepy sounding and larger than life even. It's kind of just jarring overall. And I mean, there are multiple spots across the track list here where it feels like you are being forced to walk through a haunted house on fire. Like the 4th track, Magica Dongale. I'm sorry, I do not know how to say that. Don't speak Belgian. Oh yeah, and I mean, how could I forget to mention the narrative that this record follows, which is listed by the band through their Bandcamp, about humanity shifting towards the Proboscene era, which sees superior intelligent elephants coming in and taking over Earth after the end of humanity or something like that, which I mean, you know, just fits. Kind of makes sense with the sound of this record. Now, I will say one thing. If you are a fan of Swans or Sun, those two bands in particular, the first ones that kind of came to mind, I think you're going to get a lot out of this record. I think it's going to catch your ear, really scratch that itch. I mean, this is like if those two bands had collaborated with Sun Ra and the Orchestra or something. And I mean, as I stated before, I mean, I think I'm still digesting every corner of this record. There's so many unexpected detours and just things to unpack. And, you know, after listening to it, obviously it's not really one of those types of records that I'm going to want to spin all the time. And if you listen to this album, you'll probably hear what I'm talking about. But I mean, this was an experience to sit and listen through for the over 2-hour runtime that it has, which, you know, it is a lengthy listen, but it did captivate me the entire time. So, I mean, yeah, buckle up if you do decide to listen to this record, which I highly suggest doing. Thankfully, it is accessible through streaming services. I did poke around on the internet a little bit, looked for a vinyl press of this. There was none as of yet, but I did find a triple CD release that's being sold right now through the band's label on Bandcamp. It's limited to 300 though, so I have links down below in my description box if you guys want to grab that before it sells out. But yeah, yep, I'm feeling a 10 over here on this record.